The last day dawns on the kingdom of Ascalon. It arrives with no fanfare, no tolling of alarms. Those who will remember will speak fondly of the warm morning breeze. People carry on with their daily lives, unaware that in a short while, everything they have ever known will come to an end.
Scribe,
Yes, my lord.
these Char are relentless, but we shall hold the wall at all costs.
Yes, my lord.
Take this message to Sir Titus. Go forth and recruit the strongest, the smartest. Bring to me the bravest in all of Ascalon. Find me the heroes who will lead our kingdom to glory.
As you command, my king.
Hello everyone, Undead Dev here, starting a new YouTube series in Guild Wars Prophecies, one of my favorite RPG games that I started playing when I was only like 7 years old back in 2006, and now coming back in 2020. So a little while ago, just literally a few days, I posted a poll on the Guild Wars 1 subreddit asking which class should I play for an LP series, because I wanted to revisit it, but I wanted to involve the community in some way, and I decided to do that through a poll, let them decide what to play. So after the 3 days the poll went by, the results ended up with being Warrior with 49 votes, Ranger was 80 votes, Monk was 74 votes, Elementalist was 65 votes, Necromancer was 107 votes, and Mesmer with 106 votes, not including the one I put in just so I could see the poll. So Necromancer managed to beat out all the other classes and beating Mesmer by only 1 point, eventually making it so Necromancer is the class we'll be playing through Guild Wars Prophecies, and I'm recording this on the day of the 15th anniversary, so 10 new elite skills were just added to the game, and Necromancer is in Prophecies, so, you know, we'll be capturing it far down the road. So I'm pretty excited, and I was shocked that 481 people ended up voting on the poll. That's a lot more than I was ever expecting, and I'm happy with the results, because Necromancer is one of my favorite classes in the game myself. My YouTube channel is called Undead Dev, ironically suited for playing a game as a Necromancer. Alright. And also, I just want to give sort of a special thanks to all the Redditors who commented on the post in Reddit, giving their opinions. It was an overwhelming majority support of them, telling me to play Necromancer as one of the most versatile classes, something I know fairly well and part of what I enjoy about the job. Now, since Necromancer won and Mesmer was only 1 behind, I will be going Mesmer secondary in this playthrough, but I won't be doing Mesmer-focused builds at all. My main focus will be purely on Necromancer builds, and I'll only buy like a few skills from skill trainers that can't be picked up from skill quests. Otherwise, we'll be going through the game only using skills from skill quests and Prophecy skill trainers. Skill trainers very light, just picking up like an occasional skill like Contagion to help, sort of the Mesmer skill Contagion, which sort of helps you like inflict diseases, go for different builds, and it's going to be a lot of experimentation playing through and discovery as we go along, and I sort of just wanted to play through, rediscover all the stuff I love about the game myself, and recording it to hopefully people can join me along the way. Just a couple notes before we fully dive in. This little box that I'm down here in the corner, it's going to go away in like 1-2 minutes. It's not going to be up for the entire series. I just wanted to give a small personable introduction with myself and into the series with this little webcam setup. I'm not confident showing off my bedroom the entire time, nor myself. As you can see, my face is a bit steely. But the other thing is we'll be going to Lion's Arch using only henchmen, and when we get to Lion's Arch, I'll only take 3 heroes, mercenary heroes, which are other Prophecies characters I've had in the past. It will be like a monk, a ranger, and a mesmer as my 3 heroes, and they can't use elites until I get an elite, and they have to use the same stat array I have until I hit that level. So I'm trying to keep it balanced and sort of somewhat true to the original experience, and just sort of have fun with it. I honestly can't think about anything else before we go fully end talking. It's just the full-on gameplay is about to dive in. I'm going to do a quick cut as I get rid of the camera off the screen and take off this helmet because I'm not using my AC, as you can see in the background over there, because it makes a lot of noise and I don't want that on camera. So, be right back in 1 second and we'll get to playing one of my favorite games of all time.
Alright, hello everyone, we've jumped back into the game now, and just do a quick little classic Hanover. We've jumped into the starting area of Guild Wars Prophecies, and sort of lovely, beautiful scenery. You got all the colorful trees, red, everything. Massive, sprawling lake across the way. You can see the sort of like PvP arena too, where you can sort of fight, that I haven't seen playing actually used in a long time. And our necromancer here is Scala Grimheart, or Scala Grimheart, giving sort of the dark, typical edgy necromancer name, because you gotta vibe with the style. And of course, we're just gonna go ahead and walk over and talk to our good town crier over here to get fully started. Excuse me, you're Scala Grimheart, aren't you? I think Sir Titus was looking for you. He said he had some good news for you, and I like good news. Take that experience, that gold, and talk to Sir Titus over here. And, as we sort of go along, go from place to place, I'll try and give some bits of trivia and, talk about some lore or things that show up later in the game. Some may be spoilery. Otherwise, just gonna have some fun with it. But, like, for instance, this massive lake behind Sir Titus, because we'll be seeing a lot later on when the landscape changes. Because, as we all know, we're in pre-Searing Ascalon, and we have our man, Sir Titus, right here. There you are, my friend. I'm glad you are here. I have news I think you'll appreciate. Take that experience. And he says, I've been looking for you everywhere, Scala Grimheart. The king has ordered a new offensive against the Char. This is your chance for glory and adventure, but you'll need to know more about your craft before going north of the wall. Tell you what, travel to the southwest gate, which will take you to Lakeside County. I'll have Virata the Necromancer waiting for you outside. He can show you a trick or two. And we'll say thank you, we'll be on our way. And it's just sort of take a little walk along the way. And we get a couple guards roaming around. And this will be a small tangent, but I've always been disappointed in this game that I can't get this guard armor, because I've always loved the Ascalon guard armor. To this day, it's still one of my favorite armor sets they've given to generic NPC town guards. And there's not even a tonic in the game that gives you this exact outfit. There are some similar ones like Kieran Thackeray, who comes in Eye on the North, but otherwise, no one has it. You can't wear it, and I'm saddened by that. And we're just going to do like a little brief exploration around the city. And they've added quite a few things over time here, like over here. Lieutenant Langmar wasn't in this game for a long time. However, they were added in to give sort of Vanguard quests, which are like level 10 plus quests used to help players get along to level 20. Because, and a skill merchant, which is kind of unnecessary because they only have the pre-searing skills. But Lieutenant Langmar, they're a big character in sort of the later expansion, Eye of the North. And they put him here later on just to help give quests to get to level 20 for everyone who decides to stay in this nice, pleasant world of pre-searing. Everyone who watches this knows this. I'm just blabbering. And she says, I'm Langmar of the Ascalon Vanguard. After you have some more experience under your belt, I may have some tasks for you. Tasks which we will never see on this recording. Up there, we have Baron Egan. We won't talk to him. Sandra Ellick here. She just says, well, hello there, my name is Sandra. Are you going to stare at me all day, or is this something you'd like to talk about? And we have nothing to talk about, so we will not stare. And weaponsmiths, these people I believe can, one of them sells weapons, the other customizes it for your character, which gives a small damage boost. Kim's the historian, which he actually plays a big role in some stuff, and we can already hear some fighting in the audio in our ears right now. I've come here looking to document the stories of only the greatest achievements. Tell me, what is it about you that makes you incredible? And yeah, we're not great. We're a level 1 necromancer, but I believe he's here sort of document titles and stuff. Some like great deeds, like if you get the legendary Defender of Ascalon and things like that, you talk to him. And here we have our lovely Prince Rurik wielding the fiery blades of Hassan. Pronounced wrong, but he's the good boy. Well met, young necromancer. It's a glorious day to be alive, is it not? I know some might think of these as dark times as the Char threatening us from the north, but Ascalon is the greatest nation in fair Tyria. We shall never fall before the Char. Never! I've viewed it as both pride and denial, but he even has like a little curved mustache on him. It's great. And yeah, something I love about this game world is that people are just okay with necromancers. In so many mythos and things like in people in Dungeons and Dragons a lot too make necromancy sort of that like oddball dark child no one approves of and things like that, as it makes sense, you're messing with the dead and normally that's taboo, but in this it's like, yeah, necromancers, they're just part of kingdoms, they're completely normal, nothing weird about them. We have Sen over here. We'll see a lot of her later on. She doesn't have much dialogue, just a few ambient things to talk. She's not very pleasant to talk to for the most part. She's very mean, but she's overall not too bad. And just, I love walking over here because you go along and there's just the Char that we saw in the beginning cutscene fighting the Ascalon monks and Vanguard. And they're pretty high level for a starting area. Like the ones we see level 7, 5, 6. And then like they're fighting level 5 monks and then just level 3 guards. Which is, they're outclassed, literally. The only benefit is that they have the healers on their side. But honestly, when I played this game starting at level... No, not level. When I was 6, not level 6. I was actually really terrified of the Char because I would go to the Northlands when me and my brother would play together and we'd just get absolutely destroyed by them. But a little fun bit of trivia I always try to keep. There's a resurrection shrine where I'm holding Alt. You can just see the corpses go back to there. They're using the resurrection shrine mechanic on the NPCs. And so it's like every guard and monk you see down there dies, comes back, and leaves back to fight. And I just think about that and like, what a horrible existence that must be right here. You keep on getting killed, come back like 50 feet away, and run back out and get killed again infinitely here. It's a horrible, horrible thought when you think about it. And they probably have another shrine over there for the Char or something like that, or they just keep on spawning in reinforcements. Either way, it's a neat set piece, and I've always enjoyed it. So with that, we'll sort of take a walk away from here, let this go away. We can see the good old king over there, up on his perch, unapproachable. And before we head out into the beautiful Lakeside County, we are just going to go ahead and talk to this name we see down there, Namar. I'll get to more details to him once we sort of get right there. Ooh. Oh yeah, as we approach Namar, you know, he looks quite different from everyone else here, and that's because he is. He's not Ascalonian, he's Crichton, which is a land to the far west, I believe, was how this map works out. How the map of Guild Wars works out. He's from a more western continent past the Shiver Peak Mountains to a land where Ascalon has been at war with for a long time, so, you know, surprising to see him here. But let's talk to good old Namar here. Alas, I'm behind on my rent. And my landlord, Gelson, has run out of patience with me. God, that's... I'm recording this April 2020. This is something very relatable for a lot of people right now. And I forgot how prevalent it was while I was recording this, but I fear I will be put out of my home. I'll understand if you'd rather not help a Crichton. Our nations were at war a long time, but I'm not your enemy. and I could really use some assistance. My friend, Miller Upton, lives to the southwest. I'll know he'll help me if I can get a message to him. If you're going that way, could you please tell him of my plight? And certainly, how could I refuse? Always looking to help a dude in need, and also, like, I have no reason to dislike you. You seem like a nice guy, and you just want to pay your rent. With that, we'll start heading out to Lakeside County. Of course, I haven't activated, I can do the slash bonus to gain allies with the Fire Imp and all the items. I don't want to use any of the items. I'm debating if to just use the Igneous Summoning Stone to just have the Imp along, because I love summonables, but haven't done it yet. I'll see how it goes without them for right now. We take a quick step outside. We see Lena the healer, who gets like a completely different appearance after searing, but we can see right now she has the standard Ascalonian monk, and she has like a unique like white strip of hair, but we'll see more of her as we go along. And we'll ignore Gwen there for right now, but we'll talk to Mr. Verata here. Verata the Necromancer, giving this kind of creepy Necromancer look. Also, that's another thing I love about this game, is that how each class sort of has a very visual sort of body type, style, and armor to go along with them. Like Verata here, he has no pupils, and he looks kind of like a sunken hollow. Me, I just have creepy face and eyes, and my hands look like claws. But yeah, when you look at a Necromancer in this game, unlike in the sequel, it's sort of like, okay, yeah, I can tell this person messes with some dark magic stuff, and their body has been physically affected by the forces of the magic they use. So let's talk to him. Come closer. Look Verata in the eye. Yes, now you'll learn the true power of the dark. Whether animating dead, siphoning the life energy of others, or using curses to confound your foes, as a necromancer it is you who will turn the tide of battle at the decisive moment. This I shall show you firsthand. Go to the river and kill a scale so that I can animate a bone horror from its corpse. You're going to love this. And he is right, I will. Right now I don't get any skills because I'm still a scrub level 1 necromancer, and before we kill them, we're just gonna talk to Gwen over here. A little kid just runs up to us. He says my daddy was an adventurer like you once he let me go on an adventure with him. Bet he took an arrow to the knee eventually. So she says, I left my flute by the river, but there are lots of scary monsters there right now. I don't know what to do. Can you maybe go and kill them and bring my flute back? And of course, we'll say sure I can do that. And this is a pretty unique thing that's sort of done in pre-searing, because they sort of used it a lot to sort of experiment with the... Oh, Verata's following me? I did not realize he followed me. I played this game for nearly 13, 14 years, and I did not realize Verata followed me just walking around. But yeah, with the Gwen thing, it's sort of like it's an ambient quest, and you don't get any... Oh wait, you do get it here. Never mind. Never mind, I thought it was just something she says. It doesn't come out as an actual quest. I got that completely wrong. I was thinking about something later on. Yeah, we just hit these tads, they run away, and then... Mr. Verata here summoned the Bone Horror, just like he said. And we'll go ahead and talk to him as our quest is complete. Fantastic. Raising a bone minion, isn't it? There's nothing quite like controlling the undead. You'll need to see another trainer before you learn a trick like that, but I'll give you a couple skills so you can begin your training to become a true necromancer. I'll head back into the city and inform Sir Titus that you passed your first test. Haversdan will supervise your training from here. And we get Vampiric Gaze and Deathly Swarm. Coming up to a few different skills. We don't have any skill points right now to power these up, but this one's Blood Magic, which steals around siphoning health from other people and sort of boosting your own, and Death Magic, which sort of just implies like dealing with minions and just doing damage to other things and killing them. And we'll just take a brief walk back to Haversdan so we don't do too much backtracking. An absolute, like, a barrel of a man here. Like, just look at him. Round as they come in this game. He says, "You're the necromancer Sir Titus was telling me about, aren't you? Well, I imagine he's right that you've got potential, but potential won't save you from a Char firestorm. Experience will. I suggest you head southwest to Ashford Abbey and talk to Devona. She's bound to have a task or two for you. And we'll take their advice. And we'll just go ahead and walk along. Wilton Pace, ambient NPC who walks around this area. He probably doesn't have any actual dialogue, but we'll click him anyway. Yep, returning to Ashford. We won't speak later. I'll see you around, buddy. And, yeah, we'll complete the Gwent's quest because it's along the way. We have to grab the flute first. The markers show us to go over there, but that's not where we go right now. And just use the basic thing. I'll go ahead and use Deathly Swarm here so you can just see. It creates the sort of very dark looking circle around their bodies and kills them pretty easily because they're weak. And I can't say there's much interesting going on right now, as we don't have much to fully talk about, as our skill set's quite limited, but like I said, the anniversary's going on. Get bottle rockets. Shoot them in the air. That's always fun. Just go ahead and kill this guy. Take these fens, because collectors collect them. And just quickly shift things over. And we can see that there's a broken loot over there, and we'll go ahead and grab that right away. So it's sad, yeah, Gwen's flute is broken. But we'll go ahead and just take a quick walk back over to her. Lena the healer, we'll ignore her quest. I'm not going to invite another person to my party to get a resurrection signet. And once you bring the flute back, there's no accept reward dialogue or anything. She just says, "Thanks for finding my flute." Oh no, it's broken. Now I'm going to have a new one. Can I follow you? And yeah, we can say she can follow us. And this is what I meant is sort of unique in Guild Wars Prophecies, as they did a little bit of experimentation here and there. What I was mistaking her quest to be, but she is just sort of an NPC who you can talk to, and she just follows you around and hangs out, and it's just sort of neat. It sort of gives you that sort of nice, chill vibe, as there's nothing really threatening too much, as you just have a casual stroll with a, you know, just common child who chills about with you. And we're sort of taking a walk around here. We can get a closer look at that PvP arena that's put in pre-searing. Because normally with Prophecies, when you end up doing the mission to leave the pre-searing area, you'd be put in a PvP fight against another player with henchmen, and you'd go duke it out. But I was primarily walking over here because there, I believe, at some point around this area is a drake that spawns. I don't know if it spawns in yet, but there's a more powerful, like level 5 drake that will spawn in as you sort of go deeper into the river, and sort of like one of the highest level things in pre-searing beyond the Vanguard quest and on this side of the wall. And we found a hidden stash where we just get some neat stuff. 5 to 7 damage, air wand, unidentified. We'll get an identification kit later, and we get a more powerful weapon. The Deadly Cesta, I believe, is a necromancer weapon, deals cold damage. This one has plus 20% damage, which brings it up to just about 6, so this is technically slightly better, if not the same. Doesn't really matter, but we'll use it because it's new loot. And we just find a little red iris flower over there, and another hidden stash. Oh god, this is just me getting my loot gaming on. Yeah, I'm sorry, there's just so much stuff in pre-searing Ascalon I love. Down here, I don't know if we'll do this quest now, is just this man called Duke Gavin, wearing pretty high-grade armor. The little dude over here. The idea is, in here, he gives you a quest to go grab a Devourer egg, and it's very dangerous because he wants Devourer egg omelets because he's a fancy noble. He comes up here in pre-searing, then much, much, much later on in the game in like a side bonus mission for a brief minute. Ironically, with, I won't give the spoilers because I'll be playing it later on, but it's real fun. It's funny. We're not going to do this. We're just going to continue on. I don't want to take up too much time. But I've always loved the design of Devourers. They're sort of that right sort of string of being sort of creepy, but their own unique scorpion-like creature that hangs around while also being uncomfortably big. I believe you can get them as a pet later on if you're a ranger, which is a whole other mechanic in the game that depends on your class. Like, we're playing the Necromancer, and our main thing is death, bone minions, and curses, and things like that. For a while, we'll probably be going Minion Mancer until I can spec it on a hero or something. But Rangers always were something I loved because they had the entire pet mechanic, which was like its own collection game, where you just sort of go around and you'd find different animals and you could charm them. Once you charmed one, you couldn't charm another, but you could donate them to a menagerie in sort of in the, you know, nation menagerie, which is sort of this like place far out away from all the other stuff. And you just collected the animals of the game, and you could go back there and just recruit them, like just tame them on any other character you wanted to ranger for all your heroes. It was great. And we took this route. There's actually a whole lot of routes you can do to get to Ashford Abbey. So we took probably one of the longer ones, where we left Ascalon City and took a walk around the river. And we could also just go straight through here. We could also take the pathway up there. Then there's another pathway down there, and another pathway that leads far over there. And they all lead back to the same place. So before we talk to Devna, we're going to go ahead and talk to Miller Upton. Sent here by Namar. He tells you, all day long we turn to stone and grind the wheat. Just to turn stone and grind the wheat. Just once I'd like there to be a little excitement in your life. Don't worry, it's coming. And we'll ask him about Portenant. I'm sorry, I can't really worry about helping Namar until I get rid of these damnable bees. Think you can give me a hand? Take one of the honeycombs lying around the ground and use it to lure the bees across the bridge. If you lure those 3 swarms of bees away, I'll be able to think straight again. So we just have a regular man who grinds wheat all day long, and he's being bothered by a bunch of bees because he has a honeycomb. And it's like, there is absolutely no reason why he couldn't move this himself or like ask a guard, but I guess we just came at the right time and he doesn't want to bother. And we just pick it up, walk around, and yeah. He just will bring it across the bridge for him. I've had it happen really annoyingly where I take this across the bridge, but then just not far enough, where I had to walk all the way back and do it again. But right there, it gives us that little ping, and we'll go back to him. Like, I know a lot of people don't like side quests, but I personally enjoy the extra flavor they bring into some side characters in the world, so I always like completing them. Sorry about that. I was trying to make dough infused with honey, but all it did was attract bees. Not to worry about Namar, though. I'll see that Gelson gets off his back. No doubt Gelson's trying to take advantage of Namar because he's not from Ascalon. Once he knows there's a citizen willing to stand up for Namar, he'll back off. And with that, we get a divine symbol, which is pretty good. It really lowers our health, but it gives us... we're not going to use that. I'm scared of dying. And we just... I'm all over the place, I'm sorry, but as we walked along, you can see we just hit this beautiful shell. It dropped the beautiful pearl. It's a quest item, but for what quest? We don't know yet. But we'll get there eventually. And we'll go ahead and talk to Devna. I'm glad you've come. I can't seem to shake the feeling that there's trouble on the horizon. I'd be glad to have your help if and when it arrives. In the meantime, there are plenty of people here who need assistance with one thing or another. I'm sure you'll find the lessons you learn here will be invaluable in the future. Accept it, and we level up. And she gives us another quest, so we'll put this off the side for a quick second. I've heard talk among the townsfolk, unsettling rumors coming from Mirak the Scribe. Instead of babbling to random strangers, he ought to send word to the authorities if he's come across something truly important, but I'm sure he's too engrossed in his books to think of anything practical like that. My duties in town keep me from looking into this matter myself, but if you could go to Ashford Abbey to the north and ask him about it, I'd appreciate it. And we'll go ahead along and say we'll see what he has to say. And while we're around, we'll just pick up a couple other quests. We'll talk to Pitney. He comes up in Future 2, I believe. Ugh! These worms will be the death of me. They've driven me off my farm. Doesn't matter how many I kill, as long as there's a queen worm, more will be back the next day. Here's what I'm thinking. Worms love devourer eggs, right? Can you get a devourer egg from the Fade and Hathorn for me? I'll use it to lure out the queen into the open, then you can squash her like the bug she is. And so we can handle a few worms, we'll handle that later on. I believe Faden Hathorn, he is the gentleman who is rarely at the, no, he's right there. He's right there. He's that scrub who's standing next to Duke Gavin, the commoner he wants to lure into the cave. That's why I didn't do that quest just yet. I knew there would be more quests that sort of go along with it, and I didn't want to sort of do that quest and come back here, get that one, and have to go all the way back. Take a brief stop, talk to Allison the Tanner here. Little Thumb has ordered a bearskin cloak, but I don't have a good bear pelt from which to make it. If you can find me a pelt, Little Thumb will make it worth your while. Southwest of Ashford is a place called Wizard's Folly, and I understand bear hunting is good down there. What do you say? Sounds like a challenge, but I can handle it. Remember, in pre-searing, bears were no joke because I tried to tame them, which does not work out. They always interrupt you. And here, another beautiful item. We'll pick it up. And Gwen giving more ambient dialogue about old Mac and his bull named Bill. She's telling us that her dad would just carve up that bull. We'll get to that eventually. And take a brief walk uphill. Oh, before that, yeah, this quest, Little Thumb's Big Cloak. Little Thumb is a reoccurring character that comes up much later in game. He exists here in Pre-Searing 2, an area I don't know if we'll actually get to, depending on how comprehensive I want this to be, but we'll talk to Hamish here. He's a merchant. And we just are going to buy a quick flute, because, well, remember earlier, Gwen said that she needs to buy a new flute. And I accidentally bought two. And I'll just sell my my other stuff while I'm here. Get that extra coin when I'm really poor. I'm not going to sell the collectible item yet, just in case. I need like a belt pouch or something. But we can after getting the flute, we can talk to Gwen again. Can I have that shiny new flute? It's so beautiful. I bet it plays pretty music, and yeah, we can just give it to her. And then she just plays the flute. Yeah, and she actually plays the flute. Sorry, I wanted to pause there and just listen to that for a second, because that's something else you don't really see come up much, where you just give an NPC an item and then they just use it and has actual sound file in the game associated with it. It's pretty neat. So we'll go back to our primary quest here, close that one, and we can see Brother Menlo, who technically isn't supposed to be in there, if I remember correctly, or right there at least. Yeah, he's in there, but not at that position. He's where Mirek the Scribe is supposed to be. And we got a lot of necromancers in here. But we'll go ahead and see Mirek the Scribe right here with these unsettling rumors sent by Devna. So, I leave the delving into dungeons to others. To my mind, uncovering the secrets of ancient texts is excitement enough. How may I help you? Devna sent you? Bless her. She knows I could use the help. I have an important message that must be delivered to Armin Sabelin in Ascalon City. I received a vision from Dwayna. She warned me that something dire is developing among the Char. The city must be alerted. I'll stay here and see if I can divine any more information. In the meantime, consult your map of Lakeside County and hasten your travel. Press M to view the map and then double-click a location to travel there. It's important that this message be delivered with good speed. Remember, use your map. Classic tutorials. Always the best. And we'll go ahead and talk to Brother Menlo real quick, because he has another quest that will stack with our other one of our other quests, and the third quest Duke Gavin has. Greetings, my child. Can I help you today, or are you here to offer your services to those in need? A monk's mission is the quest we'll talk to him about. One of the tasks my messengers have been given is collecting the rare elements in Ascalon for study here at the Abbey. My young friend Paulus thinks he has discovered such treasure in one of the flooded areas in the catacombs, but he cannot reach it on his own. Paulus Apollos, you see, is a smiting monk and not very adept at healing magic, and the waters in that area of the catacombs are full of disease. So we actually won't take this. I thought this was a different quest we get later on, but no, this is one of the monk missions where you learn monk skills, and we are specifically not going to be a healer. There's another quest called the Poisonous Devourer that Brother Menlo also will give us. I realize that's not till a little later on when the quests open up a little bit more. And just take a brief look at the statue. This is the statue of Dwayna, the human goddess of life. And we'll read the text real quick. Guild Wars has a sort of a neat, sort of small pantheon of gods they worship, but they all have their own lore and stories, and it's always fun to read it. And when the world rang with the clanging of swords and did fire fall from the skies, Dwayna, goddess of life and air, heard the wailings and pleas of the weak. And when the rumblings of war did not cease, came her charge, Doric, who did prostrate himself at her feet. And cast she now a glance upon the war-torn lands and wasted flesh of the fallen, and with tears upon her cheek did she lay her gentle hands upon the prostrate man. Then saith she unto the hymn and all her charges, Lay down thy weapons, and as I have done unto thee, as I have done unto ye, so ye must do for your brethren. Offer protection to the weak, give solace and shelter to those who need it. Be ye a salve to the wounded, for I am your goddess, and I will give blessings to all who follow these teachings. Scriptures of Dwayna, 115 before Exodus. And that before Exodus is, the Exodus is a time where the gods actually left the realm of Tyria and went into the mists, a part of the game we will not explore for quite a while, but that's just always something neat. So, we'll go back to the unsettling rumors, which sends us back to Ascalon City, which we'll read the description for now that we're prompted to go right back there. Ascalon City, the largest city in the kingdom. Ascalon City is known for its beautiful architecture, numerous libraries, and bountiful shops, because it is where many noble families make their home. It tends to receive the largest number of visitors and has become the cultural center for Ascalon. So yeah, we're in the Kingdom of Ascalon, and Ascalon City is the cultural center, but it's not the capital. I mean, you'd think that the city in the Kingdom of Ascalon, named Ascalon, would be the capital, but no, it's a city called Ren. That part was always a little weird to me. But I guess, yeah. Your capital can be anything, it doesn't have to be the name. And while we're on the map, we'll go ahead and read Ashford Abbey, as we will eventually, just to cover all the different little lore pieces. So the Ashford Abbey. Situated just outside of the catacombs, Ashford Abbey is the resting place for many of Ascalon's most distinguished and deceased citizens. On nice days you will find the heads of many noble houses coming to this spot, paying their respects to their ancestors. It's also not uncommon to find a priest or priestess of Dwayna here, kneeling in supplication before the statue of their goddess. So, to get along with the main story, we'll travel back to Ascalon City. Nice quick teleport. And walk back down to Mr. Armin Saberlin, who is standing right next to our good Sir Titus. And we'll just click on him, so we walk there automatically, and I can take my hands off the keyboard. I can't tell you how many other games I wish I could just click and walk there. A message from Mirak, is it? Let me see that. This is grave news indeed. I hope he's mistaken about this. Dwayna protect us if this information is accurate. If such a thing is even possible, then King Adelbert has ordered this offensive against the Char not a moment too soon. We must not lose this fight, I tell you. We must not lose this fight. And you can see Armin there, he sounds really serious and desperate. Yeah, it's a bad situation. So we'll go ahead and accept that reward. And he speaks us to again. Sir Titus wants you to take on a second profession before you face the Char, right? I think he is right to say so. Second profession gives you access to all the skills and most of the attributes of that profession. This is a big decision, not to be taken lightly. You might wish to see trainers for several professions and learn a little something about them before settling on one. Not just any teacher can teach you a second profession, but I can direct you if need be. So we'll go ahead and take this. Normally in pre-searing you could go to all the different profession trainers with the introductory quests, take all that XP to gain to help boost your levels before actually deciding on your second profession, so you could have access to likely all the skills and all the experiences quests offer to get as high as a level as you want before leaving pre-searing, or just to help you along the way to be getting Legendary Defender of Ascalon and staying till level 20 here. We're not going to do that. I'm going to take a profession, and we're going to take Mesmer, as stated before. So it'll lead us to Lady Althea back in Lakeside County. And I'm going to say, just for the introductory episode, I've talked about a lot. I've gone really fast. I'm sorry if this is jarring for anyone. I'm just really excited to be playing this game again, and I just love exploring pre-searing. It's just, so we'll go ahead and leave it there for now. And we'll come back to the adventures of Scala Grimheart in the next episode of Guild Wars Prophecies, Part 2. For everyone who's watching the series, anyone who's coming from the Reddit to see it, once again, thank you for voting, help me decide on a class and things like that. I hope it's an okay series, and let me know in the comments or anything like that, depending, any fixes or changes I can do to improve, anything specific you may want me to cover in pre-searing or stuff like that, or if you just want me to be fully comprehensive, do everything I need to before leaving the game, or just sort of more focus on exploring the lore, but giving side quests less of a big issue and do those more off-screen unless they stick with something that's actually really cool lore and stuff like that. Otherwise, see you all next time, and thank you for everyone who watches this new series I'm loving to do. Oh, of course. Goodbye, wave. You gotta give the wave.